This is Linda Lysakowski, and the quick guide that I want to talk to you about today, I think many of you know I've co-authored with Joanne Oppelt about 14 nonprofit quick guides that are very short, easy to read, and this one is the nonprofit guide to how to plan, how to run a strategic planning retreat. And all of these quick guides are very simple and easy to read. They don't take a lot of time. They're just a quick little booklet. But I want to talk to you about who should attend the planning retreat. This is chapter 3 of the book. We talk about where you should have the retreat, when, who should be involved. But I want to talk to you a little bit because sometimes people are confused about who should plan and who should attend a strategic planning retreat. So I'm going to read to you chapter 3. It's a very brief chapter, only like 2 pages. So, okay, we know what you're thinking. Our board members are sick of retreats. They just want to get the plan done. I'm sure you've probably heard that. We cannot afford the time or money for a retreat. That might be another reason that you have thought about this. We don't need a facilitator. We can do the retreat ourselves. Do we really want to retreat from our planning duties? There for a while, I remember people were calling strategic planning retreats instead of retreats, they were calling them advances. And yes, you do want to advance when your mission, but a retreat means you're getting away from the normal environment and really focusing on only one thing, and that is your strategic planning. A few years ago, it became quite popular to refer to the annual board retreat as a board advance to put a more positive spin on the process. After all, we do want our board to advance, don't we? Not to retreat from its duties. Yes, we want the process to help advance our mission, vision, and programs, but we still like the term board retreat, and here's why. The retreat transports your board and staff away from their usual meeting space. It gives them the time to really think about where the organization is going and how it will get there. It enables them to get to know each other better. So retreat, rather than being a negative word, can be almost like a spiritual retreat, a time to take stock, be inspired, and move to a more positive future. Is the retreat necessary part of the planning process? We say yes. So who gets invited to the retreat? Well, first of all, the board. It is vital that to have the entire board attend the retreat if possible. The board's role is crucial in implementing the plan and ensuring everything the organization does follows the goals outlined in the plan. The only way to ensure board member oversight and involvement is by having them involved in establishing the plan's goals and objectives in the first place. If all board members cannot attend, and sometimes it's a challenge to find a time that suits everyone, make sure as many board members as possible will be present, especially officers and committee chairs. You might be able to make virtual attendance a possibility. In fact, you can conduct the entire retreat virtually. We'll talk more about that later when we talk about national boards and international boards where not everybody can be there in person. And do provide each board member with the opportunity to provide input before the retreat through the survey we mentioned earlier. Board input is key to buy-in. And then you also want your key staff members. So depending on your organization size, you may not want to invite the entire staff unless yours is a tiny organization where a few staff members do it all. However, department chairs or heads of departments are critical. If there is a chief financial officer, a director of human resources, a development director, and one or more program department heads, they should attend and bring ideas from their departments. You probably don't want all staff members, however, at your retreat, but do get their input by way of the department heads. Likewise, you most likely will not invite collaborators, partners, donors, community leaders, and funders to attend your planning retreat. However, you should get their input by way of focus groups, surveys, or one-on-one interviews, especially in areas in which they are knowledgeable. Again, input is key to buy-in, especially if you want the community to support you. Once it's done, the board is responsible for the ultimate completion of the plan. Staff members implement the plan itself. Both the board and staff need to be involved in the planning in order to buy into the final plan. So to kind of wrap it up, all board members should be invited to the planning retreat. Key staff members should be invited to the planning retreat. And sometimes it's more than one retreat. Sometimes you might have several different retreats. Input will be gathered from key stakeholders before the retreat through surveys, focus groups, or one-on-one interviews. Results will be reported by the CEO, department heads, or board members. And you can do your research virtually and even hold the retreat virtually. So I hope you'll pick up this book, especially if you are thinking about running a strategic planning retreat, because we cover things like why it's important to get out of your facility to a place where they can truly think clearly with no distractions. So I hope you'll pick this up, and I hope your strategic planning retreat will be very, very successful. Bye.